Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today is the 1st of March 2022. Today's video is going to be structured as follows. First, we're going to talk about the news items. There was some very important news about the CRISPR licensing that happened yesterday, and it has got an impact on a lot of CRISPR shares. So we're going to talk about that. The second thing we're going to talk about is some good breakthrough news. And after that, we'll go on and look at VXN and Nasdaq, as well as all our biotech shares. So let's get started. So the first news article I have is kind of a good news, bad news story, depending on where you have invested. This is in investors.com, and the news is that Intellia Therapeutics crashes as patent decision clouds CRISPR gene editing test. So all is not over yet. Basically, what this article says is that pending an appeal to the federal court, this decision ends the U.S. patent interference between University of California, the University of Vienna, and Emmanuel Charpentier on one side, collectively known as CVC, and Broad Institute. So Broad Institute is the victor out here. So we'll have to wait and see if CVC decides to appeal to the federal circuit and take matters further. But in light of this decision, there has been an impact after hours yesterday on many CRISPR stocks, and we'll look at all of them when we do the technical analysis and take it from there. So that is the very first news article that I have got for you. This is a good news article. It says here that the FDA has approved cilta-cel for relapsed refractory multiple myeloma. And if I read further into the first paragraph, this news has come from a press release from Janssen Pharmaceutical Companies of Johnson & Johnson. The approval was based on the findings of the phase 1B of 2 CARITUDE-1 trial, during which one-time treatment with cilta-cel resulted in an overall response rate of 98%. Additionally, investigators reported a stringent complete response rate of 78%. The median duration of response was 21.8 months after a median follow-up of 18 months. So it seems that probably Johnson & Johnson might have some winning proposition out here. We'll see how the market reacts to the shares today and take it from there. Intellia and Regeneron announced updated phase 1 data demonstrating a single dose of NTLA-2001, an investigational CRISPR therapy for ATTR, resulted in a rapid, deep, and sustained reduction in disease-causing protein. So this is a really good news for Intellia, and they have achieved 86 and 93% mean serum TTR reduction by day 28 at 0.7 mg per kilo dosage. And this has been durable from 2 to 12 months. So overall, this is a good news. However, what's happened here is that Intellia has license from CVC for CRISPR-Cas9, and CVC has just lost the round against Broad Institute for ownership of CRISPR-Cas9 IP. So unless CVC decides to challenge in the federal circuit and continue with this battle, Intellia will need to find out how they can get their IP. So probably they'll have to negotiate with Broad Institute, and what will be the costs of that, we don't know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. However, the market today will show how it has been evaluated, the success versus not having the IP. Because I think Intellia entered into a good faith agreement for the IP with CVC, and in return, Regeneron entered into good faith agreement with Intellia. So it's kind of messy. We'll have to see where the tea leaves fall. Let's now proceed to look at the technical analysis of our VXN, Nasdaq, and the biotech shares. So this is my earliest recording so far for technical analysis of VXN, and we are seeing the VXN develop just in front of us. It's 9:46 a.m. So we are fairly early in the day, and there's around 4.5 hours left for us before the market closes. So right now we see a lot of strength in the VXN. The VXN is up 2.9%. As you can see, this daily candle here has already reached halfway to where it was yesterday. So if we look at our MACD, again, this is a 1 year time frame, and each candle is 1 day. So if we look at the MACD out here, it's slightly bearish but running parallel to the signal line, and the momentum is picking up moderately. So we do not know which direction this is going to go, but given the fact that there is so much of risk in the environment and an unresolved issue with Ukraine and Russia, the meeting along the Belarus border didn't go as planned. So we are still in this flux right now as far as the Ukraine-Russia conflict is concerned. Our focus is also in the back burner on the impending interest rate hike. So all of those things are going to factor in here, and whichever way the market participant starts thinking, that's where the VXN is going to go. My thoughts are that probably we are in for a heightened VXN and dropping Nasdaq. But let's see how it proceeds. However, if we look at the new line that I have drawn here, which is going to be the support line, this thinner green line, we seem to still be respecting it because we are still above it. So today will provide another opportunity to test our hypothesis whether VXN is going to stay at an elevated rate or it has got any chances of coming down and proceed on a much more moderate pace of increase. A moderate pace of increase by coming down would be a better outcome for us rather than where it is right now, or following the other trend line that I have drawn here. Let's look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is moderately down by minus 0.4%. That's around 54 basis points. And if we just zoom out, here each of the candle is a one-day candle. So we have come down since the open. We opened below where we closed yesterday, and we further fell down. We have a support from the 9-day EMA, which is the yellow line that you see here. We have a resistance from the 20-day EMA, which is presently at 13,837.23. So that's our current immediate resistance. And then, of course, we have this diagonal line, which has been our bearish channel for the longest time and been a resistance. So that's the other resistance we have. So there's a lot of headwinds in front of us today. And if we look at the pattern from the past, after every successive days of gain, we have a negative day. So if you look at the last 10 days, you would see that 2 days gain and 4 days of loss. Now we have had 3 days of gain, and this is the 4th day right now, and we are seeing a minor gain in the Nasdaq out here. And let us hope and that the existing pattern breaks and we are somehow able to go up, because based on the past patterns, I think today is going to be a day when we might edge downwards on the Nasdaq. The odds are that we may probably hit the 20-day EMA and then drop back down. The MACD has turned bullish, but the momentum is flat. So let us see what happens with the Nasdaq. Let's go on and look at our technology stock, biotech stocks. So I'm going to sort it as usual. That's my regular practice. So on top of the pile is Editas. So Editas Medicine is on the winning side of the equation. Let us see if we have any news articles for Editas. So here is a news article from 2014. What it says is that Editas has entered into an exclusive license agreement with Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard University to access intellectual property and technology related to CRISPR-Cas9 and tail genome editing systems. The license allows broad utilization of the technology developed by Editas founders Feng Zhang, PhD of the Broad Institute, and George Church, PhD, and David Arlew, both of Harvard University, for the prevention and treatment of human disease. So this is a very, very, very strong license that Editas has, and that's the reason why Editas shares are likely to jump and keep on going higher. So my bets on CRISPR therapy turned out to be wrongly placed. So I think Editas is the winner right now, unless there's a Federal Circuit challenge and a different decision comes from the Federal Circuit. So we have it, folks. Editas is the winner, and probably this reduces a great deal of risk. And even though we have such a strong catalyst going for Editas, I don't see the gains being as high as it should be. I would have expected this to jump up significantly. So I think there is still a lot of opportunity to get into the Editas shares, and probably I might end up buying a few today and reserving my stake on future profits that may come from Editas. So that's about Editas. We are looking at the MACD. It is bullish. The momentum is also picking up. However, Editas has dropped from where it started during the day, and it has fallen below the last support. I'm optimistic that this support, which was at 17.85, is going to be retained before the end of the day. We do have a big resistance from this diagonal red line that we see, which has come with us all the way from 29th of September 2021. So I'm seeing here the first signs of bullish Editas, because we are trying to pierce that. In fact, we did that in the morning and we have come down slightly, but given the bullish MACD and the raising momentum, I'm pretty confident that Editas is going to turn into a bullish phase from here. So that's my feeling, and I can't wait to finish this video session and go and buy some shares for myself. Let's look at IMTX. IMTX is up 2.37%. And if we look at the MACD, it's absolutely bullish. And we have RSI also raising. And right now we are in the daily chart. So let me go to the 1 year time frame, which is what I'm comfortable looking at to begin with. And here we can see that IMTX is below all the 4 exponential moving averages, and the MACD is just about moving towards the signal line, as we can see from the histogram here. The lighter color of the bar out here suggests that the MACD is moving closer to the signal line. However, it is still below this red line that you see here. If I zoom back, this red line is a line below which we haven't fallen in most of the occasions. The earliest was somewhere in 2020. And then we did fall below it somewhere around 26th of January, and we have been below since then. So today might probably be the day that we are moving towards that red line and potentially crossing above. But the first step would be for the MACD to become bullish, and then the direction of the signal line can also change. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's look at PACB. PACB is up 2.27%. That's around 27 cents. Again, if we look at the daily candles out here, you can see continuous 4 green candles. So it's a very bullish sign in my books. And right now the 9-day and the 20-day EMA are converging and giving support to the price out here. The MACD is bullish and it's increasing, and the momentum is going above average and continuing to progress. So it's all looking good for PACB today. If I go into the 1-day time frame for PACB and have a quick look at where the MACD is, the MACD has begun to be slightly bullish up here. So that's a good sign, and there's plenty of space for the momentum before the RSI becomes overbought. So there is plenty of space for PACB to move further. So that's also a good news for us. Let's go to Novartis and let's go back to the 1 year time frame and get started from there. So Novartis, we haven't done an analysis for a while. So it looks like Novartis is on a bullish phase right now. It has crossed over a whole lot of resistances, which I think I should mark as supports. And here we go. This is the latest resistance that we have here is going to be at 88.41. The previous resistances are now supports. So that's also a good news for us. We also have the support from all the 4 exponential moving averages, which are all below here, way below. So that's a very bullish spurt today for Novartis. And if you look at the MACD, it's bullish. The green histogram here shows it to us. And the momentum is also raising, and it has got plenty of ways to go before it becomes overbought. And now let's go to the 1-day time frame for Novartis. And in the 1-day time frame, we can see that the MACD is turning bearish and the momentum is falling. So there will be a period of time in which Novartis might lose its value in the short term, but overall in the long term, it's on a bullish trend. Let's look at Illumina. It's up 2.01%. That is $6.57. That's a smart gain. On a daily chart, we are seeing a bullish MACD, which is moving towards the signal line. That's not a good sign. Our momentum is also pretty high. That is pretty good. We have a little space before we become overbought. Therefore, we have still got prospects of moving upward. Let us look at the 1 year time frame and see what the long-term situation of Illumina is like. So it looks positive to me. We have got 4 continuous days of green candles. We have the support from the 9-day EMA, which was a resistance for us earlier. And we have a resistance from the 20-day EMA. And in the long term, we have just turned bullish on the MACD, and our momentum is picking up and going towards being average and still headed upwards. So these are all good signs. But it seems that for the bullish trend to pick up for Illumina, we need a couple of more days. Verve is down minus 1.4%. In the long-term charts, we can see that the MACD is turning bullish. It continues to be increasing its bullishness, whereas the momentum is falling a bit. We have the earnings coming up tomorrow. So hopefully the earnings will be a catalyst for us. Let's go on to look at Vertex. Vertex is up 0.49%. That is $1.22. We have support from the 100-day and the 50-day EMA, but we have a resistance from the 9-day EMA immediately and the 20-day EMA subsequently. And following that, we have a horizontal resistance at 234.58. So plenty of headwinds for Vertex. And we also have a bearish MACD, which is slowly moving towards the signal line, but I don't think it's going to happen today. Our momentum is picking up slightly. That's positive. And if we go to look at the one day time frame, where each of these candles is 1 minute, we can see that the MACD is continuing to move away from the signal line in a bearish manner, and the momentum is also falling. So that's not a good look for Vertex. So let's go on to look at Regeneron. So Regeneron is up 0.54. It's still consolidating sideways. And if we look at this red line out here, which was kind of a resistance earlier, it's now broken through. So now it's going to turn to be a support line. So I'm going to convert this into a green support line. And we have support from all the exponential moving averages right now. And the MACD is moving towards the signal line in a bullish manner. Right now it's bearish, but it's trying to become bullish. We have a rising momentum, which is going above average. So that's also a good sign. So it's looking overall good for Regeneron, and I hope after a long period of consolidation, Regeneron can start taking a bullish trend. Now let's look at Pfizer. Pfizer is down 0.8, and Pfizer is firmly on a downward bearish channel. So if you look at this here, this is going to be the support for Pfizer, and I'm going to take this out from here. Put it here and pull it out. So this is going to be the resistance for the channel, and our support is now at 45.52. We are being pushed down by all the exponential moving averages, 9, 20, 50 and 100, and our MACD is bearish and our momentum is down. So something is really bad for Pfizer right now. And let's look for ARCG. So ARCG is showing signs of life, 3 consecutive days of bullish candles. That's very good. Bullish MACD, and momentum is not looking good. It's going flat. That's what I don't like out here. We also have resistance at 48.52, which we need to break today. If we look at the daily, I bet it's going bearish. The MACD is kind of tending towards the signal line. As you can see, the histogram is becoming smaller and smaller and lighter. It's just about to turn bearish. So that's the problem out here. However, I'm enthused by the raising momentum out here. If it goes above average, which is the center dotted line out here, then it can help the MACD continue being bullish and take us to the green today. I'm hopeful of that happening. Let's see what happens during the rest of the day. It's very early in the day. It's around 10:15 in the morning, so plenty of time to go. Caribou Biosciences is down minus 0.9%. And on the daily chart, where each of these candles is 1 minute, we are showing the MACD as being tending towards being bearish. It's just about crossing the signal line. So we have the first red histogram line forming out here just below my cursor, and our momentum is falling. So that's not a good sign. On the long term, if we look at a 1 year time frame, we can see that Caribou Biosciences has had 2 consecutive green candles. We have the earnings coming up tomorrow, and hopefully the earnings turn out to be some kind of a catalyst. But right now, Caribou is not looking good. Allogene is down minus 2.5%. Overall, we are in a bearish downward channel, which can be evidenced by this trend line out here. This is a new trend line I have drawn here. So it's even inside the overall bearish channel. So we have kind of narrowed down our trend lines. And if you look at the upper out here, it's also narrowed down. So the upper side would be the resistance. So we are in some kind of a pennant out here. And because we are in a bearish trend, I'm afraid that we are going to go down and fall below this red line, which has been coming with us for the longest time. So yeah, I'm not enthused about the situation for Allogene today. Let's look at Teladoc. Teladoc is down minus 0.1%. And the MACD is bullish, as well as the momentum is above average, but a bit flat. We have a support by this from this diagonal green line, which has been with us for a long time, all the way from 12th of May 2021. So that's a positive for us. However, since yesterday, we have not been able to go above 75.79. And the thing that encourages me is the support from the two exponential moving averages, 9 and 20. That's one thing that encourages me. The second thing that encourages me is that we haven't fallen below 74.28, which was the lows for yesterday. So these two things give me a bit of encouragement that we'll be looking at a slightly bullish outcome for Teladoc today. And we have to wait and see what happens with the overall environment. If the bullishness continues, I think we can aim to go and end the day somewhere close to the 50-day moving average, exponential moving average at 80.82. Right now we are at 74.18. If we go to Bluebird, we can see that we are down minus 3.3%. That's around 20 cents. We are in a firmly bearish channel going down. Our MACD is bullish, but just about. That's because we are seeing a bit of histogram out here, which is green. Otherwise, I can't make it out in the chart out here. It's almost on top of the signal line. Momentum is also low and trending downwards. It's not looking good for Bluebird today. CRISPR Therapeutics, of course, has a minus 4.3% fall because they are on a IP which is on the losing side. So we'll have to see if they are going to challenge in the federal court. That could give them a bit of a breather. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. So CRISPR Therapeutics is not looking good today. It was my favorite share. I had put a lot of hopes on it, so I'm a bit disappointed today. But I'm holding out hope that they may challenge in the federal circuit, and we'll probably see some respite out there. Next, let's go on to Beam Therapeutics. It's down minus 4.1%. And that's around $3.24. MACD is bullish, but the momentum is falling. We had the earnings yesterday where our earnings per share was surprised on the negative side by 0.21%. So that's weighing down on the market. But the revenue side, we have seen Beam beat the revenue estimates handsomely. So let me show you this news article out here. So patent ruling is a setback for gene editing firms tried to CRISPR Nobilis. So what this article says here is that that's a welcome news for Editas Medicine, Beam Therapeutics, and other firms that got CRISPR license from Harvard and the board. It's a setback for Intellia Therapeutics, CRISPR Therapeutics, and Caribou Biosciences, all of whom got from CVC, which is the other side, the losing side at this point of time. So given all this news, I'm a bit surprised why Beam is low. I'm going to do a bit of research and find out what's gone wrong for Beam today. So it's kind of a whiplash for Beam Therapeutics. We'll also have to look at how this candle forms for the day, because from the Japanese candlestick patterns, if you have a huge green candle and a smaller red candle inside it, positioned the way it is right now in the center, it shows bearish signs. So I don't know why Beam should be so bearish. So let's wait and see how the second candle develops. Hopefully it will not become a bearish indicator by the end of the day. Let's go on to look at Intellia. So Intellia is down minus 14%, and If you look at the long-term picture out here, we are still within the downward bearish channel. Momentum is also down. That's not a good sign for Intelia. So overall, it's looking pretty bad. We are down 17% by now. It's not looking good for Intelia today. It's one of the worst days that it has had so far. Hopefully our green support line here can hold. The volumes are also significantly high if you see this red histogram candle here. So that's about all I have got for today, my friends, and I would like to request you to put a like there if you like this video, and if you're here for the first time, please consider subscribing for everything CRISPR. And the question to all our subscribers is that I've just started including a new daily update for cryptocurrencies as a separate video. One of our earlier subscriber has given me a feedback that it would be better to keep this channel purely as a biotech, just focusing on CRISPR and pharma shares. So I'd like you guys to give me a feedback very quickly in the comment downstairs. Just say whether it's okay if we have the crypto dropping maybe 4 hours apart from our regular videos. And if that's the case, that's fine with me. Otherwise also I can decide that I'll do the crypto separately in a different channel altogether. So I look forward to your feedback. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.